Hello, I'm Alex. Welcome to part 9 of this How to Play Dropzone Commander video series. In the last video we talked about objectives and the basics of how scenarios work. In this video we're going to discuss the final building block of the game, which is commanders. So a key part of any wargame is always your leaders, and Dropzone Commander is no different. When you make your list, you'll have to have at least one HQ battle group, and that HQ battle group will have to contain at least one command unit. Every command unit has a commander embarked in it who by default is level 1 and costs no additional points. You can buy additional command levels 4 points, with a level 2 costing 35 points, and every additional command level after that costing a further 30 points. So for example, a level 3 commander would cost 65 points, plus the cost of the vehicle or the unit they're actually mounted in. So your commander does several things. First of all, you add the command level of the highest level commander you have on the board to your initiative roll when you roll initiative. You also draw command cards at the start of every round, and your hand size is equal to your highest level commander's command level. Finally, your commander will have an influence range. That influence range is 4 times that commander's command level. So for example, a level 3 commander would have a 12-inch influence range. So what are command cards? Command cards are the various gambits and tricks your commander is able to pull off. These can be compared to stratagems or reactions or other similar mechanics in other wargames. The command card deck is a deck of 30 different cards, and it's the same deck for every faction or every player. As we said, at the start of every round, you draw cards up to your highest level commander. In round 1, your commander will usually not be on the board, so you're allowed to draw a single card instead, but say if you have a level 3 commander, in round 3, start the round, you draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. Your hand of cards is secret, but your discard pile, where any cards you've either played or thrown away, discarded at the end of the round, is public knowledge, so your opponent can see what you've got rid of and try and work out what you might have left. Every card will have a name, an effect, and some flavor text. The effects are fairly self-explanatory, with some being very powerful, allowing out-of-sequence moves, anti-air with non-anti-air weapons, and so on. Each card will also say either global or influence in the bottom right corner. Global cards can be played anywhere or on anything on the board, but influence cards can only be played on squads that have at least one unit within the influence range of one of your commanders. So let's go through an example. In this garrison we have some enemy resistance fighters, and we have my squad of 2 hazard suit units. I'm about to punch the resistance fighters with my powered armor CQ weapon, which is 3 attacks per base. My level 3 commander is 10 inches away, mounted in his Wolf LAV. At level 3, that puts his influence at 12 inches, easily reaching the garrison the infantry are in, so the hazard suits are within influence range. I therefore decide to play room clearance from my hand, which doubles the number of shots on the CQ weapons of the target unit. I put the card in my discard pile, and his hazard suits go from having 6 to 12 energy 6 attacks. Now, influence range can be hard to stage manage, at least not without risking your commander's life. That's where scouts come in. Any unit with the scout type has an influence range itself of 8 inches, as if they were a level 2 commander. This allows you to essentially play command cards through them, extending your influence range across the battlefield. However, they don't count as a commander for determining your hand size or for rolling for initiative. Sometimes, despite your best planning, your beloved commander will die. When this happens, you immediately discard cards from your hand down to your next highest command level. So if I had a level 4 and a level 2 commander, the level 4's just died, I'd throw away cards until I only have 2 left in my hand. If you have no commander left, you throw away cards until you have just 1 left in your hand, and your hand size is now going to be 1 for the rest of the game. You can still play command cards, but of course anything with influence range can only be played via scouts, because you have no actual commander with their own influence range anymore. So that's more or less it for commanders, and therefore more or less it for the rules. You should now know enough to start playing some basic games, or at the very least, you should know enough to be able to follow along with our battle reports, at least I hope so. In our final video, we're going to go over how to get started with Dropzone, along with a quick rapid fire of the things that we haven't covered in this series, because of course there are some things we had to leave out. Stay tuned for that.